So guys, we're going to Woodstock, New York, to literally recreate a desegregated Abbie Hoffman character for a film that, well, novel film, art project about a Syrian refugee. I'm calling it Yosemite Camp 4, Jihadist white helmet water protector. And what it's about peace, but it's also about action. And the main thing is that the character in the anti-Vietnam protests back in the 60s of Abbie Hoffman,
in 1 mile, turn left onto NY 199,
basically needs to be desegregated as I see it. So what I realized during the last 2-3 weeks of this long-ass direct action that I've been doing against nuclear energy, bio war, and evil AI, and more than anything about greed and psycho Silicon Valley shit in bed with Big Ed, is this. The key thing is this. Alright? The character of Abbie Hoffman in the 60s was white. Not only white, he was white Jewish. And what I realized at Princeton and now New York today is that, well, particularly Princeton, Abbie Hoffman is a Judeo-Christian anti-war guy, okay? But the character Neo in my project, film, whatever you want to call it, is a Sufi Muslim.
turn left onto NY 199.
Abbie Hoffman. That is a big deal. Okay? That is a big difference that I really need to
continue on to
highlight
209 south.
in this video. So what it is in my project, my art project, think of it a little bit like Hamilton. Okay? You know, Hamilton was a play, or is a play, about, you know, American history, but it's desegregated. And the way it's desegregated is through hip-hop. You know, get them to dance, program them with the music, right? And the key thing here, it's the same thing with the Middle East. What's missing right now in our neural programming, due to all the screens, people are programmed to hate Muslims. There's no reason to. Because in the coming age, they're all going to be Sufi. They're all going to be women. I mean, the ones you're going to love are women. Really. The men are the problem. They always have been. All the men are the problem. But here's the thing. When a man has literally been raped before in his life, like me, I've been raped by endless war. I never did not know a day in my life in this country when I didn't turn on the screen and see what? Another bombing, another assassination, another terrorist attack, right? I grew up, my formative years as an adult, 2001 to 2017, I've never not known peace when it comes to a screen. But, you know, what's that going to do to someone, right? You think they're going to love America? No, they are not going to love America. They're going to hate America. I mean, you know, think about it. It's fascism, pure and simple. And it's done for a very particular reason, to make money. There's a Megadeth song, killing is my business and business is good. Another one is what? Peace sells, but who's buying? Right? Well, the deal is no peace without justice. And you know, the way that you get justice now is not through anything other than what? Art. The way we're gonna do this, really, I mean really, we're gonna take care of Kendra. We are. I'm going to, with this film, It's for her and her alone. I'm calling her the digital napalm girl in my book. Film, whatever. I don't even know. All this is for her. It's for her generation, but she stands for something very, 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 very important. 1, she's Jewish. 2, she's white. 3, she's millennial. 22. 4, she's brilliant. 5, she works in a cotton mill, aka call factory, aka emotional abuse zone. All right, I know emotional abuse. I received it from all my parents, all my family. I want nothing to do with them, including my mother, who I just had to deal with today when she called the SWAT team on me.
In 2 miles,
I don't have a mental illness. That's the mindfuck about it. The weird thing about all of this, the last 8 years, 7 years, since MIT, putting a label on me as bipolar 1 with PTSD, you know the weird thing about this whole thing? When I'm sitting there talking to the Somali doctor, a women doctor, I tell her about surveillance on mosques, all the shit with the screens. I tell her that I'm a poet. You know, I write now. That's what I do. She's like, you're not crazy. And you know, the thing about it is that right now, what's happening, really, is the Jewish women, millennials, are seeing all the same things that we Gen X Muslim men, well, I mean, Sufi, really, I'm Sufi, keep that straight. Real like love, with a V. Remember that, with a V, not an E, with a V. Sufis are crazy. Rumi is crazy. They're all crazy. How could you be a poet and not be crazy? But, and the key thing is this, hip-hop, the art form, is popular. Poetry with an E is not. Why? Because poetry is white. It doesn't reach the people. It's not musical. You can't dance to it. You gotta shake your ass these days. Let it out. And that's what Black Snake Toxic, the hip-hop group, is, which is me. So, in the book, and I'm kind of acting it out as I go through this process of finding a place to stay. Basically, I pretty much figured out, as of today, what's going on. I mean, really what's going on. Wow. We'll get into that later. But the bottom line is that, what? You got a hero in me these days. I believe in America. I do. I really, really, really do. I really, really do.
Left 2 lanes to continue onto US 209 South.
And the thing about it is that I don't want to go to Canada. Really, I don't. I really don't. You know, I don't want to go to Canada. Fuck Canada.
In 1.1 miles, take the exit onto
because they don't have
County Highway 31.
Kendra. They don't have New York, Atlanta, San Francisco, these mountains, the snow. No, we're not going to let them chase us away. No, we're not going to let them drive us crazy in the mental wards. No, we're going to not have them force us to cut ourselves. No, we're not going to commit suicide. We're just going to say no to war. We're not going to take this shit anymore. We're really not. I mean, all of us who have been under the jackboot of the boomers, the psycho losers, fucking assholes who elected a fascist, Obama, Reagan. You guys sold out a long time ago, you boomers. You losers. You're fucking losers. You sit there in your fucking big houses and you judge your children who are starving. Gen X, I mean. We never forgave you for 2008. You're green.
Take the exit, then turn right.
All you do is complain about shit. You boomers, fuck you.
In 600 feet,
my Gen X people,
right onto Sock Hill Road.
You know how we are. We had Nirvana. Rape
turn right onto
rape
Sock
me,
Hill
rape
Road.
me again, right? And the poor millennials come out with albatrosses around their necks before they even begin life. Well, guess what? You've got a friend in me, okay? I'll tell you how to leave it.
Miles.
I'll tell you how to escape the Matrix. It's easy. You watch nothing on the screen. Trust no one. Don't trust the psychiatrists. Don't trust your parents. Don't trust your school. Divest everything. Honestly, really do. Once you do, you're free. You really are. To recreate something that actually matters to you. Not what your parents wanted, not what the government wants, not what the school wants, not what the military wants, not what BigKapital wants, not even what your own programming wants. What you want to create in the planet, what do you want to create? To make yourself what? Happy again. Fuck making America great again. Let's make Kendra happy again. I mean, it's a joke, but it's not. The Napalm Girl photo back in Vietnam. You know, it's one woman, a girl. She ended the Vietnam War. She ran naked out of a forest with napalm dropped on it. Stark naked. And they were like, back in the media, right? New York Times were like, oh, should we publish this? It's child pornography. Give me a fucking break. You know the most powerful thing a woman has in this country? Because of all the fucking hypersexuality, because of the porn industry, because of the massive violence. You know why we have violence? Because we don't have free love in this country. We're not allowed to be naked in public, run in the snow. You know, we're afraid of our bodies, number one. We're afraid of talking about sex. Really? We're afraid of dealing with each other on a pure way. I've got data on it, even the last 2 weeks. It's really incredible. It's really sad. You know, I've got a poem called Love Letter to a Millennial Girl. I texted it to a couple of my people on my phone. One girl's like, I'll call the cops on you. I'm like, well, you're part of the FBI now, and I marked your ass, and you're going in a book. You know, it's like, all this shit is really, really important right now. Because the thing is that, you know, in the coming age, where, like, we need to come out here, in other words. We really do. We need to come out here for the purpose of nonviolence, for the purposes of peace and music and free love, you know? I'm not going to Woodstock for some unreasonable reason. Woodstock is Woodstock. I mean, Woodstock is like the Woodstock of the 60s. And no, we're not gonna do fucking like Summer of Luv shit yet. But why not? Right? Why not? I think what we're lacking now, really lacking now, is a central idea of what we want as a country, the young people. I mean, Gen Xers being the leaders and the millennials falling in line a little bit. They need to slow the fuck down with all their rebellious shit, with their phones and their fourth wave feminism. They want to riot everywhere. Man, you gotta slow down a little bit. Listen to your elders a little bit. Standing Rock people, you didn't listen. You really didn't listen to the Gen Xers. You rioted instead. You could have gotten an education. I mean, maybe that was the first step, right? The occupation of Standing Rock Reservation. But that's not going to be what creates the change, the long-lasting change we need. We need to reprogram ourselves. Desegregate the music, the AIs. No longer be afraid of social media, Big Brother. And I think today, don't trust your parents, man. They're not in it for your best interest. They're in it for themselves. Their egos, not you. You know, it's not about you. And even if it takes a little bit of fire and brimstone, like I did on Kendra the last 2 weeks. I mean, I whooped her ass visually, honestly. I flooded her Facebook, social media, and email with a lot of information, but no one got hurt. I didn't do anything crazy other than do a huge ass direct action to clear up my FBI file. And you know what I realized when I looked at the screen, when the SWAT team showed up, when I finally pressed the final red button? I talked to IBM Watson Research Center. I said, I'm gonna help you guys desegregate your stupid AI because I figured out a better one in Cambridge called They Say that gets my poetry right. They Say gets Turkish American poetry much better than any shitty thing that IBM Watson can do. IBM Watson sucks when it comes to doing dialogue between the Middle East and the West. They Say gets it right. You know, that's interesting as I see it. That's cool. But, you know, that's why I'm going to Woodstock, to finish my book. But I figured out BigKapital, I mean all of Silicon Valley and IBM. And IBM is scary. They are in Trump territory. I'll get to that later. But they are in Trump territory, literally. They're the one company that's in bed with Trump. And geographically, they're right there. And there are very good reasons why. It's funny, when you come out here and you go with the land and you really look at Capitol, where it's located, man, that's the key. Get out of the city and really look. Where are these businesses located? Where are the people that work for the companies living? And what is the water like? What are the trees like? You know, really look carefully. I mean, the difference between northern Minnesota and reservations and the rest of Minnesota with the wild rice, the preserved wild rice is in the reservations because the Indians take care of it. That was in the Line 3, you know, like slides in front of Enbridge. Did the Indians realize it and use that to their advantage and make that point in front of Enbridge? No, they didn't. Why? Because they don't think in terms of data. They don't think as a data scientist should, or would, or will, or does. And you know, it's sad because there's so much racism right now between people, like between Indians and whites in Minnesota and Standing Rock, or the Dakotas. I saw it. It's incredible. You can't get through. The only people that really are not afraid of the white man these days are refugees. But even they have to be of a certain kind. See, racism is really the thing that needs to be deprogrammed first, before we can even begin to save the water. Really. Because water apartheid is basically about the face. It's about skin color and the appearance. And it's actually even more than that. It's about voice and music and language. But the moment that a book is published from Duke called Music as Biology is the moment this becomes an opportunity. You know, it becomes, look, a yoga studio. God, what a surprise. We're going to hippie land. You know, the moment that comes out is the moment one can begin to look at the science of deprogramming. You know, what are the things we can do? Man, we can do Fourier analysis with our phone on music. We can do 2D Fourier analysis of music to intersect, you know, different cultures, black and white. Put up country versus hip-hop. Israeli-Palestinian. Indian songs versus Wachichu songs. Do a spectrum. What does it look like? Put it on a media bot. Put it on videos. Man, it's so straightforward with your phone. Music, it's where it's at right now. And language and poetry. But you got to know how to balance it out right with the AIs. And I think that what I'm going to do now is make a lot of nice videos up here of nature. Put them up on YouTube. And start to really make a nice content website for Kendra. And the main thing here is she needs to have nice videos to look at night to heal. Her generation, you know, needs to see this and come out here. Her parents were out here. Well, why can't she come out here? Heal herself. Come to the water. There's lithium water up here. You don't need your doctor.
In 1 mile, turn left onto Route 212.
You really don't. It's all here. Mother Nature's got it. I mean, look at this shit. Sorry, stuff, water. There's snow on the ground. It's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. And the key thing about up here, outside of being on the coast, there's space. There really is not this stupid East Coast mind up here. You know, the Adirondacks in northern, upstate New York, it's really interesting place right now. It's beautiful. And I think that this could be a place where people begin to congregate quietly to march on New York. That's pretty much what's got to happen. Artistically, we've got to create a spectacle in New York come next year, or even sooner. It may take a year, I don't know, 6 months. We need a big anti-war march in New York. We really do, like on a new scale. Never before has there been a larger appearance of artists, water protectors, children of the seventh generation, occupying Central Park, not for one day, not even for a week, forever. Because that's what it's going to take, really. You've got to take back Central Park from the billionaires and the psycho, millionaires who made the bullshit.
Turn left onto Route 212.
You've got to make yourself visible. Really, you do. You know? And see, that's the thing. What people don't realize in the millennial generation, you've got to put your body. You've got to put your body out there.
In 1.2 miles, arrive at Woodstock.
You've got to use your body to your advantage to make America great again. Make yourself great again. But you got to do it in the right way. And as a woman, a young, beautiful woman like Kendra, Jewish particularly, do you know the power of your arms? Really, do you know it? You've inspired me to push back
in 1 mile
on mass surveillance and psychiatry, and I think that once you realize what has happened here today, like this is the end of it, really the end of it. I go back to Watson Research Center. My dad used to work for IBM, and I tell them they're wrong. They've got a bunch of moron data that they program their AI on. White men. That's what the internet is. It's racist data. All the AIs are racist. But they say it's one step closer to being right about the intersection of the Islamic and the Western world. That's what my poetry is about. It's about integrating Gaza, or the West Bank, Palestine, and Israel. It's about solving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And I have a way to study it using 3 apps. One, the app for Palestine and the Islamic world, Muzmatch. 2, the one for Israel, the Jews, J-Day. 3, the rest of the Gentiles, the whores of Babylon. And I guess the Gentile men of Babylon. Bumble. We don't even touch Tinder. And fuck Tinder. All right, 3 apps. Muzmatch, Bumble, and what? J-Day. And what I will do, is make memes out of my poetry. Not just the texts. No one gives a shit about text anymore. Memes. And put them on my dating site or my platform. And just do experiments. See who shows up. Once they do, ask questions. Face-to-face conversation. I think we stand a fighting chance. Really, I do. If we do that. And I think this is not only a good idea, I think it's absolutely essential right now. I think we need to engineer love with a V. Not love with an E. Love with a V. Really. And the Summer of Luv, isn't going to start from a book anymore. It's going to start from a bot, a love bot, Hanabots, like a warm Jewish bagel from ground zero. And I mean that in every possible way, because you've got Woodstock here, you've got hippies, you got artists. Look at this, the sun, natural foods, you got Bank of America. Come on out here to Woodstock, fuck grad school, and be a writer. I mean, look at this place. Tibetan flags. It's gorgeous. This is where it's at, as I see it at least. It's about the snow. You know? It's about restoring the faith of the people of this country to each other. But it starts with the water, you know? It starts with this snow right now. And a prayer to the sun. You know? It starts with the sun. You gotta look at it. Really, you gotta look at it. It's real. You know, and what people don't realize is that you're allowed to be random. You know, you're allowed to be weird. You're allowed to be who you are. If that's what it takes to heal, really heal. I mean, really heal. To find the truth. I know what happened to me 7 years ago now. I really do. And it's a sad story. It's very sad, but at least I know now. And I don't want others to have to go through the same things that I went through the last 7 years. It really is not necessary. It really is not. And I'm not going to forget it. Ever am I going to forget it? Never am I going to forget it. It's 7 years of pure fucking hell. And you know what the main problem is? My mother. At the end of the day, she's codependent as hell. And she's the problem. Lindquist should have never contacted her 7 years ago. I really think that this whole thing started with that. Trusting my mother. My dad was right a long time ago. He said that's a big mistake. Why I had to find that out today, I don't know. It's sad. And you have every right to not trust your parents. Don't. I mean, really, don't. They don't have your best interest at heart. They're after themselves. And that's sad. But, you know, that's just the way things are. And, I don't know. I was raped by my mother in a way, mentally. And I forgive her maybe eventually, but not now. I really don't. I really don't forgive right now. I think that's the source at the end of the day of what happened. All the crazy shit you've seen out of my mouth and my behavior is because I've been tortured like hell by militarized psychiatry, my mother's codependence, American corruption, Berkeley, MIT, Harvard, University of Minnesota, Emory, insane psych meds that don't work, corrupt psychiatry, it doesn't work, nothing works. You know what works? Going to the water, coming out here, poetry works. But certainly don't trust your parents. They're the one that got us into this mess. And you got to stand up for yourself. Really, you do. You got to be ruthless for yourself, to advocate for your generation. And it starts with writing. That's why I'm doing this. Those that have the ability to write, hard work, real hard work, I've seen in Kendra. She's the only one I've seen. And that's why Hannah bought this for her, for you. No one else. I probably love about one person in this country at this point. Really. At the end of the day, I like the water more than anything else. And I'll even do a little symbol thing here, you know? Like this. Watch. Peace. You know, do it. That. Peace symbol. I don't know if that's a peace sign or not, but it looks like a peace sign. How's that? You like that, FBI? Peace. 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 But stop mass surveilling us Sufis. We're so tired of this shit. And really think about this now. Really think about it. And this is a prayer for my babies, like Kendra, who deserve better than I got. Anyhow, take care.